Hey everyone, I am sitting in my office. It's Friday afternoon. Work is done, the work week is over. These weeks just seem to be flying by at an almost terrifying pace as we inch closer and closer and closer to the US presidential election, which I might have more to say about as we get a little closer to it. But today, the weekend is here. We're having some friends over, some out of town guests, so we're kind of excited and we'll be playing some music. But I want to do a video, and I thought I would look to my office here, which is where I shoot these videos, where I've got a stereo up here. It's not our best one is downstairs, but yeah, I play records up here. A lot of times I'll pull records that I just got, or that I want to maybe do some kind of video about, think about. And this is kind of one of those where these records were already up here, and I was just looking through, and it's kind of like my 3 random records. Just pick 3 that are already up here that maybe I haven't talked about, and let's talk about them. So the first record behind me is the Pixies. It is their EP, came out in 1987, called Come On Pilgrim, and I love the Pixies. I need to talk about the Pixies more often. I absolutely love the Pixies. Now I have kind of a hard cutoff date with the Pixies. It does kind of end with the original band in Trompe Le Monde. I was able to see them 2005, I think, that first tour they did, other than the first kind of surprise shows they did in Canada. And then they had one actually in Minneapolis, which was just impossible to get tickets for. But when they came back on a regular tour, I did see them. I had seen them on the Trompe Le Monde tour too in 1991, which was excellent. But I could tell that there were problems brewing in the band even then. Kim Deal was rolling her eyes at Black Francis pretty much the whole show and kind of making fun of him when he was talking. Anyway, it all started, this Boston band, the Pixies, with this record. This came out in 1987. It's got 8 songs on it. It's an EP. It has 8 songs on it. Caribou, Levitate Me, I think is on here. Nimrod's Son, the Holiday Song. What else? I'm looking at it right here. Isla de la Chanta, Ed is Dead. All of these are classic Pixies songs. The thing that amazes me about the Pixies, their whole sound was on that first EP, 1987. I mean, a lot of bands, their sound will change with producers, or, definitely as they mature, as they play more shows, as they're together longer. And I don't think the Pixies were together long at all before they put out this EP, but the sound was there right from the beginning. My introduction to all this was I got turned on to the Pixies through Doolittle, and then I picked up Surfer Rosa on CD, and it had this record on it as well. It was sequenced at the end of it, and I listened to it like one long, absolutely amazing Pixies record. And to my ears, I'm not an engineer, but I don't notice a big difference between the 2 records, Surfer Rosa and Come On Pilgrim. Like I said, the sound was already there. You can definitely tell a difference when you get into some of the later records like Doolittle and Bossa Nova and Trompe Le Monde a little bit, but the sound of the band was there, and definitely there on this record, Come On Pilgrim. All right, what do I have next here after the Pixies? Let's look. Springsteen, Magic. I didn't love this when it came out. I remember hearing Radio Nowhere at night on the radio, and I liked it. It seemed like the perfect driving song. I think that's kind of in the lyrics too, but it just really was interesting. It seemed like a regular kind of song from Springsteen that wasn't trying to hit you over the head with a message. Certainly wasn't like The Rising. It just seemed like a good rock song, and I find that most of the record is like this. I didn't love it, like I said, I didn't love it when it came out, but I played it the other day. I bought this record on vinyl anyway, probably like a year ago. I'd had it on CD before then, and so I listened to it when I first got it, and then I don't know if I listened that closely when I first got it on vinyl, but I listened to it again recently and found that I liked it a lot more. I find that this does happen a lot, honestly. Once new albums by bands you love start to just be regular albums in their catalog and you go back to them, the weight of expectation is gone, right? It's no longer Springsteen's new record, and it's the only thing we're going to hear from him for the next 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 or 7 years. He has sometimes long gaps between records. So yeah, you're like, oh, is this it? You know? But when you go back and you listen to these records, including this one, Magic, I find it to be like a pretty good record. And one thing I noticed is his voice is quite deep on it. It quite resembles a 70s Springsteen vocal. I don't know. I didn't notice that before, and I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I found that really intriguing. But otherwise, it's a pretty good batch of songs. You know, some things like Long Walk Home, he's played a lot. Absolutely love that song. He did that in Springsteen on Broadway. The song Magic's Devil's Arcade, I like a lot. Radio Nowhere, of course. Living in the Future. A song like Gypsy Biker, not really that crazy about. Girls in Their Summer Clothes. I think I liked it at the time, but I found that it's just, wow, it's like a perfectly crafted pop song. You almost wonder if someone other than Springsteen, if they had sang that song, if it could have been a hit. He's older then and singing about girls in their summer clothes. I don't know. It doesn't register the same way that it would be like some 20-something band singing a song like that. But the highlight for me, or one of the highlights, but definitely like the album song that I keep waiting for, and it's not listed on the record, but it's Terry's song off his friend Terry, who was a personal assistant of his, who had died. I think he might have died after, right around the time that this album was being completed. The track list was announced, and then he decided he was gonna record one more song, and I think he wrote it, quickly and recorded it. And sometimes I think Springsteen, when he doesn't overthink things and he just lays down a track, is him at his best. That Nebraska record, for instance, which is my personal favorite. But this is one of those records I learned later, that when Letter to You came out, that a lot of these reunion era Springsteen records were pretty much him, bringing him, laying everything down, then bringing in the E Street Band later to do a bunch of overdubs, essentially. And this does kind of have almost a similar vibe to Devils and Dust, which I liked. I think I might like this one better, but I certainly like Springsteen in that mode as well, the more acoustic storyteller mode. Okay, what do we have next? We have one more record up here. X, Under the Big Black Sun. Okay, X. I have this out because I really like X's new record, and I have been on a little bit of an X kick, and I really, really, really wanted to see X live. They're playing in Tacoma, but they're playing like, I don't know, some kind of day-long festival type thing, and none of the other bands seemed interesting. The other band that did seem interesting was Bikini Kill, but they were playing the day before. So the day that X were playing, they were headlining. We didn't really recognize any of the bands. It wasn't the type of thing that I wanted to drive to Tacoma and make a full day of standing outside and waiting for hours before my favorite band on the lineup, or the only band I really cared about, played. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too old for that kind of stuff. It doesn't interest me as much. And I was like, I really want X to just play a club. And I saw them in Oakland, California about 6 or 7 years ago on the Burger Bungalow, Burger Records would put on every summer. Oh my God, they were so good. They were really great. Those festivals were cool too. Iggy Pop, I saw Iggy Pop, X, and Buzzcocks between 2 years of lineups for that. Like, just super cool. But anyway, I'm extremely excited because X recently announced that they're playing 2 shows at a small place I've never heard of called the Airport Lounge, I think, in Tacoma. Snagged a ticket for the first night, so I'm really excited about that. But this might be my favorite X record. It starts to lose a little bit of the frantic kind of punk thing that was going on with Los Angeles and Wild Gift. It gets a little bit more serious. There's a heaviness hanging over the record in that Exine's sister had passed away right around that time. So a lot of the songs of hers are kind of informed by that loss. But it's a really, really good record. I really enjoy it quite a bit. And of course, the song in here that I just cannot get enough of, and I was actually turned on to in a bigger way when I saw them at Burger Boogaloo in Oakland, California, was Blue Spark. Just such a Billy Zoom, just really the energy there, his guitar playing. I love that song. It's just infectious. it's like a must. I think every one of their sets has to include that song. And I think from what I've looked at, steeked at, taking a peek at on Setlist FM, yeah, Blue Spark is definitely in there. Hotel Room in My Bed's on there. Riding with Mary. Come Back to Me, kind of haunting song again about Ixine's sister, or influenced by that. The Have Nots, just a fantastic record, but a little bit more serious, but also a little bit better produced, a little bit more hint towards more of like commerciality. It's really, I think, the record after this, More Fun in the New World, that kind of puts them at like, okay, is X going to be popular here? Is X going to like be a big band? I know there's a lot of talk around that time because it seemed like they were the band that could. They were the band that could have really blown up into something much bigger. Now, I think some of us were kind of glad that our bands don't change that much. Now, I was not an X fan at the time, and I was too young for that. I got turned on to them through, an album that Billy Zoom's not on, which is See How We Are, but that's the one with 4th of July on it. All three of these records they're quite different from one another, but especially Under the Black Sun and Pixies. I mean, the Pixies is like old family pictures or something. It's like fun to go back and listen to, but it's like I remember that stuff so clearly because I played it to death. Is definitely my favorite among these, but yeah, I love this one too. I don't need to really compare these too much, but the Springsteen one also I've learned is it's really, really good to come back to. So anyway, just 3 records, a lot of rambling. I have been having some sips of this fine cocktail. This is ginger beer with mezcal, and I've got like 2 little lime wedges squeezed in there. It is a Friday. It's been a long week. The weekend is here, and yeah, cheers everyone. Have a good one.